Okay guys, so a little bit about this fire. This is so-called long fire or survival fire or Siberian fire, whatever you want to call it, all-night fire. Basically, as you saw, I placed 2 logs on the bottom. I kept bark on purpose because bark does not allow moisture to escape. I just wanted to make it harder to practice the skill. After a while I struggled and I realized that I'll just take the bark off, you know. I did try, it was really hard to keep it going, so I just took the bark off. Once I took the bark off, now fire is doing good. If you have a section which is not really burning, you take something flat and just fan it. Fire does love oxygen and then picks up. So basically you place 2 logs side by side and then you start small fire along the logs with small branches and twigs, right? I used a Vaseline rope, which didn't actually work as well as I wanted to. Maybe try gasoline soaked rope, it's gonna be much better. Anyway, after a while I was able to have fire going along the whole length of the logs, and once it was hot enough, like the coals, I placed the third log on top. Again, you want to remove bark off the logs because bark prevents moisture to escape, because as fire going inside the logs, it heats the logs up and moisture escapes from the logs and it dries up as it burns, basically, you know. But bark does not allow it or makes it more difficult. So you remove the bark and then just fan it regularly and you should be okay. This fire should be going anywhere from 6 to 8 hours, and it does not require any more firewood to be added. That's the beauty of the fire, you know. It's once fire enters the optional mode, which it is right now, that's it. You're just gonna keep going. That's all you want. I have a section over here which is not really working, so this bark can be removed and then little fanning and it should pick up eventually. Also, as you saw, I used my pocket silky saw, which is, I don't know, not that long, and I was able to cut down these logs. They're about 8-inch long, I would say, 8-inch wide, I would say, which is cool. So you don't need an axe to cut down or chop down the tree. All you need is a foldable pocket saw which is light, and you can still achieve a survival fire that's gonna work all night, man. And you don't need no more firewood. As you can see, I placed this stick over here to increase the gap between the logs so the more oxygen can get in. Once the internal heat gets hot enough, then I want to remove it. Actually, I think it's time to get it out anyway. Boom. And I would also like to say that these logs were super wet. Like, the tree was standing up and it still was wet through, you know. So it's hard. It's wet conditions outside right now, and fire is struggling, but it's working. It's working. As you can see, there is a heat going underneath the logs as well. So you can add some sticks and bark in there, which will help the fire to get even hotter, you know. But of course you want to keep the fire from spreading, because it dries anything. Like this is wet right now, but in an hour it's gonna dry out and gonna be, you know, just combustion materials. So I'm trying to just remove all the leaves so it doesn't catch on fire. And again, just pieces of bark can go right in there and they fall through and they catch on fire and they help the fire burning. This is the bark I removed from the logs. Actually, you can put them underneath, and then a little fan. Look, you can fan underneath. Look at this. And that's how your long fire works. This is a section with some problems. Couple more fans and there's going to be no more problems in this section. Nice. I'm going to leave it for a few hours. Meanwhile, I am going to set up the shelter. I have a tent today. Okay, so as you can see, snow fell. It came out of nowhere, but fire is safe. So yeah, this fire can withstand minor small snow, small rain. It's hot enough to evaporate any fluids right away, basically, and it keeps going. You see, it's not perfect. You have this section over here which is not really burning because it's touching, so oxygen does not penetrate, as well as over here oxygen is not getting in, and in the end it's not doing too good either. On the other side, it's much better. As you can see, it's more even, except this spot over here. Well, this spot allows the gap to be open, basically preventing logs from touching all the way, because if they get sealed completely, no more oxygen. And as you can see, I had to put this little log, like a little branch, because logs were on the angle, so I had to level them, make them, you know, level basically, so it would burn evenly. And that's why we have huge gap underneath the logs. But I mean, it's doing good. It gives a lot of heat, a lot of warmth. I'm quite happy with it. you know, making a fire is a skill, and you want to make it as often as possible. My tent is ready to go. I have a little cam light because I have a shit ton of them, all expired, still working, so I want to use them. Just whatever, just hang it on my tent string. Sleeping bag is fluffing up inside, my sleeping pad is inside. I'm actually tired, so I'm about to go to sleep. It's still bright out, but I'm tired. I need to lay down, my knees are aching right now. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy long fires as much as I do. Practice, practice, practice. Okay guys, so it is 9 o'clock in the morning. I had amazing sleep. As you can see, snow is still laying on the floor, which means it was cold at night. And to the fire, the most important thing. Well, as you can see, it's still smoldering, it's still hot. So this is what's left. Not perfect. It should all of it should have been gone, but it's actually better for us because we're gonna do something with it. Everything is cold right now, all my clothing is cold, my pants, my boots, so I'm gonna start the fire again to get warm and to boost morale. This is homemade food I made in the dehydrator. I made it like 10 years ago. I kept it in the freezer, frozen, and 10 years later it's still good. Imagine. And my batch, I made it for John Muir Trail, which I never went to do. It had to be cancelled due to the biggest forest fire in history of California. Anyway, so I had all that batch left, and I've been using it for hikes this whole time. And my batch is running low now, so I gotta make a new one. It's amazing. Homemade, DIY, natural, you know, food. Tastes the same like if just cooked, like fresh cooked meal. Amazing.